Hello guys, Chris here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce RTX 2060 6GB model in Cyberpunk 2077 version 2.0 with DLSS 3.5, and yes, it still supports that. So this one is the palette version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU Z, and over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 7 5800X 3D and 32GB of DDR4 3600 MHz CL14 RAM in dual channel. Let's get into it, shall we? Alright everyone, let's go over the settings first. I'm starting at the 1080p resolution. We're also going to test higher resolutions as usual, and I am using the Ray Tracing Overdrive settings first without DLSS and without these settings right here because I don't really like the look of them. Oh boy, alright, here we have it, my friends. The 2060 is dead. Basically at this point with path tracing. Obviously VRAM is maxed out as well. The 6 gigs aren't really enough for this, but hopefully it will get smoother with DLSS. It looks pretty noisy as well. The reflections look okay, you know, but yeah, you can see on the back of the car, for example, there is a ton of noise without the reconstruction thingy, and well, we should definitely stop it right there because we're getting 5 freaking FPS. Okay, so let's enable this on quality now. I'm gonna use 40 sharpness here, and the ray reconstruction is turned on. Still, it's kind of looking like an oil painting here at 1080p resolution with the 26. That's pretty weird, you know. I don't oh boy, I don't remember seeing it look this bad with the 3060 Ti, which is very interesting. I don't know, maybe I just got used to the higher resolutions of yesterday's video. Playing at 4K with this is really pretty. So yeah, going back to 1080p, it doesn't look anything special. But anyway, it definitely looks better than without ray reconstruction enabled in DLSS as well. Let's kill Bob! Goodbye! I won't let you live, Bob. Even with 13 FPS, I will do what it takes to kill you. This is still a completely unplayable mess, my friends. Again, the VRAM is not enough, and I guess the card's performance itself, the raw power, is also not enough for this with path tracing, unfortunately. This is, after all, first generation ray tracing cores that we're using here with the weakest RTX GPU from the 20 series. So let's try it out with like performance DLSS. Ooh, now it's looking, oh yeah, it's looking pretty bad. And it's still not enough to achieve even 30 frames per second. It might still be applying, I don't know, but I don't think so. Well, it's getting closer to the cinematic frame rates, you know, that's 24 frames per second, the movie's frame rate. Most of them, actually, like Avatar 2, I think, runs at 40 frames per second, as well as The Hobbit. Very nice, you know, it's definitely smoother than 24. Oh my god, what the hell? Anyways, guys, if you want path tracing on a 2060, it's not gonna happen. At least with the 6GB model, you need an upgrade, basically. But I wouldn't really play like this myself, because you actually need something like a 4070 Ti or higher, maybe a 4070, to take advantage of ray tracing overdrive properly and make it look good at a decent resolution in the DLSS setting. So let's try it out with Ray Tracing Ultra instead. I'm gonna disable the DLSS over here. Also, Ray Tracing Ultra does not allow us to enable ray reconstruction here, unfortunately. Let me just disable these 3 settings right here, and this is it. And now that everything is applied, it's still pretty bad. It's not as noisy, I guess, as it was with path tracing, full-on path tracing, you know, but the FPS are terrible still, dude. I actually forgot how bad the 2060 was at ray tracing. Again, first generation RT cores right here. They're not doing a good job. You definitely need DLSS if you plan on playing with RT on a 2060. And that's why they made DLSS in the first place, I guess. So yeah, here we have it. Yeah, quality DLSS at 1080p RT Ultra settings is giving us 21 frames per second. Goodbye, Bob. Wait a second, he's not dead. He's not dead. We gotta get him better. Let's go. I don't like the fact that The pistol seems slower shooting this time around. Oh, I got the bug again from the magazine, invisible magazine. Ah, there we go. I fixed it. You just gotta switch weapons and then it's gonna work fine. Okay. Now, the problem is... Shut up! Shut up! I know you're friends with Bob. I can't do this. I'm gonna get into my car once again. Start counting our FPS. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot about it. It's not that it's needed, really, because it's unplayable. It's well below 30 FPS the entire time, even with DLSS, but hey, it's getting around the same FPS as DLSS Performance with RT Overdrive, so yeah, it looks a heck of a lot better, actually. Unfortunately, the reflections now, since we are utilizing DLSS Quality and ray tracing at the same time, they're really low resolution internally, and DLSS can't really bring them back without ray reconstruction, so they will look pretty bad in general. Oh my, whoa, there is a buggy person on top of our car. What is happening here? She's creeping into it. I'm not liking this. Oh boy, it's like a spirit or something. What the hell are you doing? This is so weird, man. This is still Cyberpunk after all, my friends, as you can clearly see. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see performance DLSS. Is it enough for us to achieve 30? There we go. Finally at 30 frames per second. She's still going with it. Okay, there we go. She's not here anymore. Huh, you know what's interesting, guys? Performance DLSS at 1080p Ultra RT settings, not with the overdrive settings, is not really looking like an oil painting. It looked worse with overdrive at 1080p. Again, like at 1440p and 4K, overdrive looks really good with DLSS and ray reconstruction at the same time, but at 1080p it just looks like an oil painting again. Alright, here we go, there we go, Bob. I think I got him now, this time with the car. No, he's still alive. Did you see that? He was still moving there. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, Bob, do not run away from me. What the hell? Is this a countdown for the explosion or something? I don't know. Come on, Bob! There we go, I got him. Nice! Nice explosion and everything. Really love the car chases now in this version. I mean, I guess if I was running this on like a 7-inch monitor or a 6-inch monitor, like on a smartphone's display, for example, it would look decent. There is a slight bit of ghosting, actually, that I can notice here. But again, the resolution is super low at the moment. Yeah, Ultra Performance DLSS at 1080p is in fact 360p, but it does not look like 360p in the slightest, my friends. It's way better than that. It's actually kind of closer to maybe a little bit less than 720p, I would say, native, you know? Let's try ray tracing medium, guys, without DLSS first. It disables ray traced reflections, which is very important in ray tracing. I would argue it's the most important thing in ray tracing, and sets the ray traced lighting to medium instead of ultra. But maybe the 2060 stands a chance now with RT medium. No, not really. It already applied the settings, by the way, and it's getting 15 FPS. It's not that much better than Ray Tracing Ultra, holy crap. Okay, I needed to restart the game because I was getting really low FPS even with the medium RT settings. Okay, this is still applying now. No, those were accurate. All right. So I was seeing 15 FPS and like, no, there's no way. We just disabled the reflections, you know. But yep, it gets 15 FPS. VRAM is maxed out, so again, that is probably the issue here. Let's try it with quality DLSS. And all right, now it is much better. VRAM usage went down by a little bit there. It's not maxed out anymore. And we're playing with RT medium settings. Still not 30 plus FPS all of the time, though. It still dips into the 20s, unfortunately. Probably because of the Bob right there. Yes. Can the police actually kill Bob? Are they trying? What is happening here? What are they shooting at? What is happening? Can you stop wrecking my car, please? God damn it. Now they're shooting at me. Are you kidding me? Are you actually serious? I just entered my car and they were bumping into it and now it's my fault. You goddamn bastards, mate. Okay, anyway, it's still not very playable like this, unfortunately. But with balanced DLSS, it might actually be above 30 all of the time. Still applying. It's taking a really long time to apply, so I'm just gonna reload the game, guys. There we go. Balanced DLSS. Looking great here, since, again, it's DLSS 3.5. The upscaler has been improved. It actually does look really good at 1080p with balanced. I didn't try balanced DLSS yesterday with the 3060 Ti, because it was not needed, you know. The card is way faster than this one. But yeah, I gotta say, it looks pretty alright to me. It's a lot more shimmery, of course, but it certainly looks better than, like, if you drop the resolution to 900p, for example. The sacrifices are real, though. You gotta give away reflections, as well as a ton of resolution here. Still looks good, but for example, the shadows are not as detailed for sure. They are very noisy, actually, at these DLSS settings. Oh, and VRAM is actually maxed out or close to maxing out here. Interesting. I saw like 6,000 megabytes of usage there for a second. This game doesn't stutter when it runs out of VRAM. That's amazing as well, because a lot of the new titles just can't handle going out of VRAM just a little bit. They will stutter like crazy. It's time for us to try it without ray tracing. The way you should play with the 2060, okay? Oh wait, there's still the ray tracing low preset, which just enables ray tracing shadows. Nothing else, okay? Should we test it? Well, I guess we should, just to make it more complete, right? Alright, this is it. It's native resolution as well. I disabled DLSS, and it is actually gonna be playable. Oh my god, wait a second. It's dropping like crazy over here. Oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry. Oh, damn it. Okay, didn't notice it was the police. Alright, goodbye, Bob. Once again, I'm sending you to Starfield. Around the roundabout right here, it's getting like high 30s, low 40s. It's alright, but again, it's only ray traced shadows, so I think I would just disable it and get the extra frames per second that you get by not having ray traced shadows here. Oh, but I wonder what that umbrella is made of. Jeez, it's like the toughest material on earth. So with quality DLSS, it actually cleans up the image quite nicely here. It's not as noisy as without DLSS enabled, and it gets us way higher FPS, although that was a massive slowdown right there. I didn't see it, but I'm guessing it was the VRAM that got maxed out and swapped into the RAM, and then we got that big slowdown there. Still, it didn't feel like a stutter, like in new games when they do that. So that is amazing, alright? Still very playable, you know? Let's try it on Ultra now, without DLSS first, without these as well. There we go, and everything is basically maxed out aside from this setting right here, and of course that ray tracing is now off. I'm gonna restart as well just to reset that little swapping between VRAM and RAM stuff. Oh yes, we're getting close to 60 frames per second finally at native resolution, and the game looks really good right now, right? I would say that this actually looks better than I'm sorry people, I'm so sorry. It actually looks better, at least cleaner than the overdrive settings without ray reconstruction or DLSS, you know? But yeah, look at this. 40-something frames per second, 50s. It's still not enough for us to get 60 plus all of the time, unfortunately, but it's a way smoother experience than anything that we've seen so far. Look at the reflections on top of the car. They still don't look bad, you know? It's just that they're not accurate and they actually disappear whenever you look at the car like this. Alright, that's it for the benchmark run. We've got 49 FPS average, 39, 1% lows. It's stable, it doesn't stutter or anything. The VRAM is also enough here for ultra settings. So that's great, but you know what is even better? If you enable DLSS on quality at 1080p ultra settings, look at our FPS right now. And look at our graphics as well. It looks way better because it was really noisy, even without any ray tracing enabled. I could see a lot of noise on top of the car and stuff, especially when we started the ultra settings benchmark run at native resolution. It's pretty weird stuff, you know. Oh, What the hell? I didn't ruin my car's headlights. Interesting. Bob? This is Bob, right? Oh, I don't know which one is Bob. We gotta kill them all. Goodbye. Bob, what the hell was that? Okay. And goodbye to you too, sir. And where's the other Bob? I didn't get him. Okay, anyway, guys, this is a lot smoother. That's really noticeable, the difference between the 71 FPS average that we're getting here. Basically 60 plus all of the time, right? It's not really dropping from 60, only into the low 60s at times. Yeah, I think this is how I would play this game on the RTX 2066 GB. Maybe give a little bit of an OC to the GPU just to make sure that you stay above 60 100% of the time, because sometimes it still drops down into the lower 60s, as you could see right there, 61 and 62. But hey, overall, even if it does dip here and there into the 50s, not gonna be a bad experience, and the game looks fantastic like this. There's no need for ray tracing to make Cyberpunk very, very good looking. Let's play on the high settings preset now. I'm gonna disable FSR, which enables itself by default here, and this is it. On high settings, the game, surprise, surprise, still looks very good. Okay, once again, that noisy effect on top of the car is back, and it's pretty much everywhere else in the image as well. I really don't like the native resolution look of this game, especially after seeing DLSS 3.5 cleaning up that image so well. Yeah, and I disabled film grain as well. I don't understand why it's still so noisy. Anyway, come on, wait. Ooh, the car's gonna explode. Car's gonna explode. Bob. Wait a second, we can actually grab him now with the update 2.0, right? Bob, stop. Can I grab him? What? How? Why can't I grab Bob? It must be special or something. Can I grab you, sir? No, I cannot. Still feels smooth, guys, but again, it is actually dropping slightly sometimes from 60 frames per second at native resolution. And as I said, I would not play this at native resolution because DLSS cleans up the image so well. Well, you will only achieve around 60 frames per second here with some drops here and there, which is not too different from the game's performance like a year or two ago on the RTX 2060. I believe it was performing something like this, you know. I remember seeing like 50s very often at 1080p high. It might be like 5 to 10 frames per second faster, actually. Oh boy, we died. Okay. But it's time now for us to enable that beautiful DLSS 3.5 on quality. That is so much smoother, guys, than a 60 average FPS experience with some drops here and there, you know. This is always gonna stay above 60 no matter what, even in super intensive scenarios with like explosions and stuff in an area like this one, and you are close to the explosion, for example, or even in the foresty areas of the game or park areas with a lot of vegetation, which is pretty intensive from what I've been told, you won't have a problem. Okay, it won't drop from 60. So if you want to make sure that you have that 60 plus FPS experience 100% of the time, these are the settings for it. And if you want to have a little bit more visual fidelity out of your game and still be above 60 FPS most of the time, well, where are the cars, by the way? What the heck? But yeah, you get the idea. I myself would probably choose the ultra settings with DLSS because it didn't really drop from 60. I would also probably lock it to 60 frames per second to save a little bit more power on that GPU, you know, and it will all be fine. It will all be perfect and smooth and playable. Also, somebody told me that these effects right here, I got a couple of stutters right now, which is very weird. That doesn't usually happen. Maybe it's loading something because we just skipped time ahead. But yeah, smoke effects with DLSS enabled look a bit pixelated. You can definitely see that, right? Maybe not on YouTube, but yeah, if I zoom in, you can see that it's a little bit pixelated. That's pretty much the only downside to DLSS right now, at this point in time. Okay, that and maybe some slight, very slight ghosting around cars, around the lights of cars, you know. It's just a very little ghosting that happens. Nothing compared to like FSR in this game, which wait, okay, come on. If I set it to quality here and you take a look at the back of our own car, you can see some heavy ghosting right there. And the faster you go, the more noticeable that will be. Yeah, look at the license plate as well under it. It is very noticeable, the ghosting here with FSR. It's also a lot more noisy than DLSS was, and it gets around the same FPS. So on an RTX GPU, definitely do not choose to use FSR. And the smoke effects are also even more pixelated now. Anyway, let's disable this and play at medium settings. Once again, for those people who prefer the native resolution. Jesus, look at that. Kill the bastard. There we go. Nice. Good job. Oh, not from behind. Not from behind. Okay? You don't do that. Oh, she's still fine. She's still fine. Wait. Seriously? Why? Why are you doing this? Oh my god, she has a ton of health. Jesus. Well, 69 FPS average at least. I didn't hit her. What happened? Like, the other car hit her and then she took revenge on me. I guess I have a little bit of fault here as well, because I am playing the game. If I wasn't playing the game, she wouldn't be in this situation, right? So maybe it all comes down to me. And maybe I am the reason why Bob exists as well. No, actually no. I bet if you go into your game, into this location, Bob is gonna be standing there and you gotta kill him. Not dropping by a lot, you know. It's only into the high 60s, maybe mid 60s. That's really good, okay? I like the performance here on medium settings. It still looks great, but I mean, it's getting around the same FPS as ultra settings with DLSS quality, and of course ultra settings does look a lot better, so I would definitely choose the ultra settings with DLSS. This is just for those who cannot live with DLSS enabled, obviously. But if you enable DLSS quality at 1080p using medium settings, whoa, you start getting into other people's cars by mistake. No, that's not what happens. You actually can achieve somewhat of a smooth, high refresh-ish experience. It's not really super high refresh, but if you have a 120Hz monitor or 144Hz monitor, goodbye Bob once again, you will definitely feel the difference between around 100 frames per second average and around 70 frames per second average. So even if you're playing on medium settings, again, DLSS is great. Anyway, 96 FPS average and 69 1% lows. Look at that. If you swap 96, like the position of the numbers, it actually gives you 69. So this is the perfect experience, my friends. It is absolutely magnificent. And lastly, let's try it out on low settings, which is still not the lowest settings inside of this game. As you can see, it selects a lot of things to medium here. There it is. It's getting less FPS than medium settings with DLSS quality enabled. It's actually getting around, like, what, high with DLSS? I think so. And of course, this is now low, so it looks way worse. Let's quickly do this on low, because, again, you have the option to play at much higher settings with better visuals and performance, so there's no point in playing like this. Can we just all agree that low settings look insanely good still in Cyberpunk 2077? I would argue that this game on low, despite its shadow popping issues and actual texture popping and stuff like that at low settings, I think it still looks better than like Starfield on Ultra. It's good looking. Let's enable quality DLSS. If you are interested in a high refresh rate experience, this is the closest you'll get to it, I guess, without ruining the graphics, and set it to like very low or the lowest settings possible manually, you know. Okay, no, I'm fine. Yeah, it's getting 100 plus frames per second so far. It got like 90s right there. Near Bob. Of course, Bob is the reason why the FPS dropped that much, so that's why we always go there. It's the most intensive area in my benchmark run because of that bastard. Bob, you're sitting on air, Bob. That's not how chairs work. Your chair has been destroyed. You cannot do that. You cannot do that, dude. Bob, please. Okay, he's dead now, hence he's Jesus. Okay. Anyway, 111 FPS average is what you get. 74 1% lows with a little bit of a cleaner image. I guess at low settings, it's still a little bit noisy here, even with DLSS. Definitely noisier than the other presets, but still, it's great. It's good looking. And yeah, I guess we should try higher resolutions now at low settings, because none other preset will be decent. Okay, here we have it, 1440p resolution using the low settings with no upscaling, which has something set to medium, of course, and it's actually not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse for some reason. I guess, again, I've been used to 2023 titles and the 2060 not doing so great at 1440p, and I mean, this is still the low settings preset, and it's getting less than 60 FPS, but I was just expecting worse because of the terrible unoptimization that we've been seeing this year. Let's see it over here, which also drops our FPS by a lot. 56 right there. I mean, it doesn't even get into the 40s, so I think 50 plus FPS all of the time is what we get here with the 2060 at 1440p low settings. That's pretty decent. All right, it seems like we can probably play at like even high settings with some balanced DLSS and still make the game look and play very well. DLSS Quality is now enabled and it puts us back into the 80s at times. Goodbye, Bob! Oh my gosh! Did you see that? I think he rubber banded or something, or he turned into Mr. Elastic. Yep, look at that. We got rid of the noise with DLSS now, and it's getting 80 frames per second on average. It will never drop from 60 at these settings. That's the power of DLSS, guys. When this GPU came out, a lot of people didn't really think of DLSS like a major advantage, because back in 2018, when the 20 series came out, it wasn't really as widely adopted. But these days, damn, does it make a difference. Alright, since it performed so well, let's try it with medium settings. No FSR, no motion blur. Here we go. So it sets most things to medium and the single setting to high. And here at native resolution, we dropped by about like 10 to 15 frames per second, I would say. So now we're in the low 40s, it's probably gonna dip into the 30s, and it doesn't feel as smooth as before at all. So sorry, that was just a little scratch, man, come on, no need to shoot me. Okay, here we go, intensive street incoming, once again, 43, 44, not a problem. Alright, it's very smooth indeed, my friends. Alright, so enabling quality DLSS, damn, oh, we're in the 60s again, guys. Oh yes, this is great. Let's start counting the frames now. Wow, and look at that VRAM utilization as well. At medium settings and 1440p resolution, it's very low. Just over 4 gigabytes of usage there. And it looks great still, you know. Of course, we're not really licking walls and stuff. What? Why are you swearing in my videos, Bob? The Cyberbug is back, my friends. The Cyberbug is back. How's it going? Why are you pushing me? Okay, okay. Well, what if I shoot the bastard? He fell. Over here, 68, 67, 66. Not bad. 65 right there. I guess that's the most it'll drop to in the street. There's no need to use like balanced DLSS, but if you want to, it looks almost the same as DLSS Quality. See that? It's in the 70s here in this roundabout. We gained about 10 frames per second compared to DLSS Quality, and it looks nearly the same. It's very identical, guys. Let's see it on high right now without the Fidelity FX Super Resolution, please. Thank you very much. And without this enabled as well. Now, this is where it starts becoming pretty intensive for the 2060. We're already getting low 40s here. It's starting to drop into the 30s. We're probably going to see like low 30s in worst case scenarios here, which is not great. Goodbye, Bob. What the hell? Oh, I didn't crash into the umbrella. Nice. Feeling really choppy compared to everything that we've seen so far, so it is definitely not worth utilizing high settings natively at 1440p. I'm just gonna go ahead and enable quality DLSS right away, which puts us into the 60s on average. with some drops, as you can see, 57 right there. But hey, if you're aiming for that 60 average experience, this is a great option. It will look really good, very detailed, very sharp and crispy, as I like it. And it's still gonna be really smooth as well. I'm very impressed. Let's see Balanced. Can Balanced put us above 60 frames per second all of the time? Look at this, 68 average so far. Around the roundabout, it's getting 60 plus. Such a massive difference, dude, with really good and crispy graphics still, you know. We went from 30-ish frames per second back there to 60 plus all of the time, still retaining the high settings preset, guys. 69 average, once again, man. It seems like every time we get 69 average here in this game, it means that it won't drop from 60, or it will only drop into the low 60s. Which is very impressive once again. Let's turn it down to low settings once again. This is it. And I am gonna go ahead and try it at 4K resolution. Okay, so at native resolution, low settings, it is not gonna be playable. We're in the 20s. And, well, 30s at times, but it's rough, guys. It's rough. I'm still gonna kill Bob like this, though. Goodbye, Bob. There we go. Oh, yes, 26 right there. Not good, not good. It doesn't stutter, but yeah, it's very, very bad. Let's try it with quality DLSS at 4K low. It gives us like 12 to 15 more FPS, I guess. And it puts us back into the 40s, which is pretty nice, especially compared to 20s, obviously. This makes the game playable, and it's still very pretty once again. Like, low settings in this game still looks pretty enough. We got the police car once again. Oh, that's sick, the lighting. Even on low settings, it looks insane over here, dude. What the hell? It's a little bit flatter of a look, yes. It lacks some of the shadows, ambient occlusions, and so on. The lighting as well is worse. Pretty much everything is worse than before, but it still looks great. And it performs good as well. I'm just gonna enable Balanced right now to see how much of a boost we can have here. Now we're in the 50s, low 50s though. We gotta get to Bob's roundabout. Once again, I can see a little bit more ghosting right now at Balanced DLSS in 4K around the lights of the cars. Oh boy. Sir, thanks for bringing me another car. Bob is right here. Goodbye. He's dead. No, he's not dead, of course. His chair still saves him every single time. And let's see. Going around here. Getting 40s, high 40s, mid 40s at times, and low 50s. What you get. Lastly, let's try Performance DLSS at 4K, which still looks pretty impressive. You can tell that it might be slightly over-sharpened, so turning down the sharpening filter will probably, oh my god, make it a little bit better, you know, a bit softer of a look, but again, then it could become a little bit soft, too soft, so it might not be worth doing that. But we're getting 60s, guys. We are getting 60. It's actually really smooth, noticeably smoother than the 50 FPS average that we got before with Balanced DLSS. So I think it's actually worth enabling DLSS Performance here, even on my 42-inch monitor, and even at low settings with the RTX 2060 if you are playing at 4K resolution. I doubt a lot of people are playing at 4K resolution with this card, but hey, it's good to know that if you really want to play like this, you can actually achieve a 60 FPS average. No! This is a big one. That is a big one. I don't like it. Oh, this one's on fire again. What the hell is that? Is that a robot? Whoa! I have never seen this one before. That was very easy to kill, though. Alright, and we died. That's been it, my friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I can actually try like Ultra Performance DLSS as well. This actually looks really good. What the hell? Of course, the reflections now on top of the car are very low quality, and I would definitely not do this. But what? I would never have guessed that this is Ultra Performance DLSS at 4K. I would never have guessed that this is 720p. Okay? That's insane. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.